Yo guys, Jonathan here, and I am back with an unboxing of the brand new, just released 2016 13-inch MacBook Pro. This time around, the box is slightly different with a pretty slick side profile shot of the MacBook Pro showcasing how thin it is. Before we continue though, first we gotta get through that plastic. And once we're inside, included with the MacBook Pro is a USB-C to USB-C cable, the power brick which connects via USB-C, and that is important because that is how you will now charge the MacBook Pro. And last but not least, the Apple literature, and what would a MacBook Pro unboxing be without those Apple stickers? Now taking a closer look for a second, can we all agree that space gray is insanely attractive? And drop a like if you agree. The downside though with the new color comes the death of the glowing Apple logo. But taking a quick look and comparison against last year's MacBook Pro, not only is this thinner and lighter, if we stack it on top, you can see it is smaller in every possible way. The other giant difference between this year and last year's model is the trackpad, which is humongous. Personally, I love the bigger trackpad, and because it's based off force touch and not a mechanical trackpad, no matter where you click or touch, it's always going to be equal, which is super enjoyable. And beyond that, the other big improvement with these MacBook Pro is the keyboard. So this keyboard is utilizing the second generation butterfly mechanism, which I actually like way better than the first gen on the 12-inch MacBook, and even more so than any previous MacBook Pro I've used. Now yes, I agree, having two 13-inch MacBook Pros is super confusing. In my opinion, they should have just called this the 13-inch MacBook and have it live alongside the 12-inch model, but again, that is beyond my control. So with this model, instead of the OLED touch bar, you're getting the old school classic mechanical function keys. Now the 13 and 15-inch MacBook Pros with the touch bar are coming out very soon, so if you haven't yet, definitely make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those. The other difference between this 13-inch MacBook Pro and the next tier up are the Thunderbolt 3 ports. With this baseline model, on one side you're getting two Thunderbolt 3 ports which are in a USB-C type form factor, and on the flip side, surprise surprise, unlike the iPhone 7, you are getting a headphone jack. Now with this new design, there is both good and bad. The good news is with these Thunderbolt 3 ports, they can do pretty much anything. You can transfer information, you can charge, you can output video to an external display. You are getting crazy bandwidth with potential for insane speeds. And in my case, where I already use a USB-C SSD, connecting to the MacBook Pro and using Final Cut to edit was super simple. But on the downside, the biggest complaint I've seen is that you can't connect your iPhone to your MacBook Pro without a dongle or a USB-C to Lightning cable. To me, honestly, that is not the biggest deal in the world because I can't remember the last time I connected my iPhone physically with a cable to my MacBook. But where I do feel Apple jumped the gun just a little too early was removing the SD card slot, because that is something I use all the time. Granted, you could totally do that through a dock or through a hub, but there are way too many devices out there currently that use SD cards as a medium, which makes things super inconvenient. Now on the flip side, jumping back to some positive and things that stood out to me. First, the display is phenomenal. Apple claiming the screen is brighter and more colorful is 100% accurate. I'm pretty sure through video it doesn't translate or portray how big of a difference there is between the two, but in person it is huge. That reason alone for me is a solid reason to upgrade. It totally may not be enough of a reason for you to upgrade, but if you edit video, photos, or anything in that field, it is awesome. Now beyond that, the other thing that really surprised me with this new MacBook Pro was performance. On paper, if we compared it to last year's 2015 MacBook Pro, you would assume that it's slower. The 2016 MacBook Pro is rocking a 2 GHz Core i5 processor, whereas the 2015 MacBook Pro is clocked at 2.7 GHz. You're getting relatively the same memory, the same integrated graphics, but surprisingly the new MacBook Pro is slightly faster. Where I saw the biggest difference between the two was how fast the flash storage in the 2016 MacBook Pro is. That clocked in at over 1300 megabytes per second on the right side of things, and I think it broke and kind of tapped out disk speed test at 2000 megabytes, which is insane. And conversely, the 2015 MacBook Pro on the right side of things, that was just over 640 megabytes per second, whereas the read speeds were just over 1300. Now I will note one giant asterisk on this test was the actual storage capacity on these models. The new 2016 MacBook Pro comes standard with 256 gigabytes of flash storage, whereas the old 2015 model was only 128. In contrast, upgrading last year's model to the same amount of storage would bring it to the exact same price. So just a little food for thought in terms of whether or not that adds value to the new MacBook Pro. But all in all, I am pretty impressed with this MacBook Pro and super stoked to check out the models with the touch bar. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a chance to win not one, but two of these brand new 13-inch MacBook Pros that is linked here and also down below. Thank you guys very much for watching. This is Jonathan, and I will catch you guys later.